Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Factorio. We've had a little break. Let's get back to building our million minions. Now unfortunately, these factories do not keep the productivity module, so this is a speed module one only. However, I guess there is a positive to that, is that those speed modules can go, or productivity modules, I can dump them back into the system. They can be used elsewhere. I've actually got plenty of them. I have got, but because I'm dumping them back into the system, I've got a limit on the overall number of productivity modules that are produced, the level 3 ones. So that's going to help us out a little bit. And these, they'll be on their way eventually. Okay, that's fine. We've now got them being made. I've got pipes being made, which means that the pipes are going to be brought in over here. We're going to have spare pipes. That's going to be wonderful. I've got 2 lots now of flying robot frames. I keep going robo for robo ports, but it's not. It's the flying robot frames. 2 lots of those being made. Over here, the big problem is that I don't have any of the red chests being placed down. I need to make more of them. Because this one, I do actually want them placed down, don't I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, there's lots of them. I've made a whole load myself, and they'll now run out and they'll place everything down into these, and then that will be everything all tickety-boo and wonderful. As long as we have things tickety-boo, it is absolutely fantastic. And you can see which ones have actually been working. These here, that was not been working, so it's got 2 flying robot frames in there, and that's it. As soon as it puts a chest in there, right there, then it will start working. It will start doing some more work. But even... oh no, it has actually put everything in there like it needed to. That's good. That at least is a step in the right direction. Those are using up really fast. Logistic count is starting to come up. Right. Okay, I'm pleased with our progress so far. This is what we're going to keep doing now. We're going to keep focusing 100% on just getting our million robots done. Right, I've gone and done all the other bits. I'm not going to keep science running or anything like that. I'm going to focus on getting these robots made and then getting them in the air so that we can wrap up this series. I've heard you loud and clear. I've heard the sort of feedback that you're giving. You've really loved the series, but it is time to wrap it up and move on so that we can go back to doing something that is running at 60 frames rather than slugging along like we are at the moment. My next thing that I'm going to need to do, I got loads of oil everywhere, but oil is not really a serious problem for us. I've got iron there. I need iron. I need to get some more iron up and running. I think what we're going to need to do is bring that patch. I'm going to have to belt that up over to here, and I might end up utilizing part of this and not mixing. I don't want to mix the iron in with that. That's a pure copper run. So I might do a second run all the way along here and have another iron patch down here so that can be brought in. I will have a belt from that one, and then I've got a little bit of a belt on that one that could go in. There's not a huge amount on it. And I guess really we would want to consider extending out this way so that I can encompass those 2. But we've got to be careful. Like, there's loads of iron out this side. There's a lot of it out this side. But we are going to have to be careful. I don't know how far I'm going to have to go in order to get the materials that I need. Because some of this stuff, like some of the supply of iron, is not going to be immediately going into making roboports. And if it's not immediately going into making roboports and seeding those in, then we're not going to need to worry about it. Because anything that's not focusing on roboports is now sort of grinding to a halt. Like, for example, this down here. Okay, not there. These in here. These are still going at the moment. I've got 15 of 48 full on there, but they are filling up. And then once these are full, all the plastic and steel in there, once they're done, then we don't need to... I'm actually thinking that I could go and get rid of... Yeah, I'm going to do it. Speed. Let's do what I said before. Let's focus 100% on robots. We don't need these to make robots, so we will stop production of them. That is a massive drain right there on the plastic and steel out of the system. Those low density structures. That is a really high strain on the system for that. So if I remove all of them, problem solved. Drain gone. Suddenly I'm not using anywhere near as much steel. That steel can then be redirected to be used for other projects over here. That, again, I've got a little bit in here, so I can go and do the same on that one. If I just drop it across there like that. That's out. That's done. Productivity modules, no, I'm not going to stop those being made because those are things that we're actually making use of. Right in here, these are full, okay? I don't need to worry about them. They are actually full. No, they're not. Some of these are halfway, and that means ultimately they're going to be needing them. So, rocket control units, cease operations. Rocket control units over here, you are also going to cease operations. That one is now shut down. Everything not dedicated to the art of making power to keep everything running, or dedicated to building our rockets, robots, I should say, is currently being shut down. And then once I've built the rocket, the rockets, they're not rockets, Frith, come on, get with the program, they're not rockets, they're robots. Once I've built the robots, then we can start putting it all back in again, because then I've got the very minor task of getting 1 million robots actually up into the air, sustained for a minimum of 60 seconds. That's what I'm thinking. It doesn't. I've not actually said that it's got to be that. At no point have I said that it has to be sustained for a minimum of 60 seconds anywhere at any point. However, this is what I'm thinking. That would be a pretty good stipulation to say that we've got 1 million robots in the air at one time. It's not just a blip, but sustained for 60 seconds, robots in the air for simultaneously. And I mean, if we can't do it, then we can't do it. We'll I'm not going to lose too much sleep over it. If I get 1 million in the air, I'll be happy. That's what I'm focusing on right now, is we want to get this 1 million up. These are now working away very quickly, and we've got spare engine units being produced now. We've actually got a decent surplus of engine units being produced. We've got a good surplus of pipes, I'm hoping, soon being produced. They're not quite ready yet because we haven't got down all of the chests, although I'm going and dumping down a few of these chests. So there, I've got pipes right now are not quite being produced as a surplus, but they will be. That will catch up. And then once they've caught up with a decent surplus being produced, because I've requested 1,000 pipes for every chest, so it's going to take a little while to populate these chests with the 1,000 pipes, and then go and populate those chests as well. But once they do, then we've got like decent reserves of everything being built up, which is also going to build up the reserves of all of these engine units. This is a good thing. I want them to have plenty of reserves, because those are the ones that are producing these over here. Right here, we've got our oh, there we go. There we go. These, the flying robot frames, the flying frames right here. I've got loads of these already building up in the chests, and not going any further than that. So they're all being produced. I've got 35,000 electric engine units in logistic storage, so that is great. We've got plenty of electronic circuits, and we've got loads of spare batteries as well. So that's fantastic. Steel, we don't. We don't have steel. However, once these have started to build up their reserves, and we've got plenty of those spare, then, and also there and those in there, that means that it's going to focus a lot more on just producing the bare essentials, which is going to really start pushing out our robot production down here. And right now, that is still very much based on this in here. We've got all of those here, but it's the advanced circuits. We're still short on the advanced circuits. And the advanced circuits, what are they waiting on? Plastic. It's plastic. That's all the way through is plastic. That's what I'm waiting on with those. I got no plastic coming in. Down here, steel is fine. Steel is fine. These have now been disabled, so we've got to fill these chests up with everything that I've requested for these chests so that that can keep being made. But that is it, right? As soon as those chests have been filled up, then we're not going to need to worry about that anymore. We've disabled all of the science, so essentially all of the copper that we had coming in here is hardly being used anymore, right? It's hardly being used at all. We went and did all of that, all ready for the science, and it's now not being used. But that's actually, again, it's another one of those things that is going to work out well in the long run, because what it's going to mean is we're going to have a large quantity of reserve that then once we fire everything back up again in order to get robots up in the air, we've got plenty of materials there for the robots to be grabbing and moving around. We've got almost all of these now in place, so there's another thing that we're not going to need to be worrying about in the near future. This iron over here and this iron over here, I'm thinking that we should set something up so that we're starting to use it. Those are the last two that are easily accessible. We have no more that are easily accessible. So those are the bits that really we want to be focusing on. I've got these are being built up. I've got some more being built up here. So we're waiting on these chests to be constructed. And those, they're going to take a little while. This is our oddball one down here. They're going to take, well, I've got a few of these. I've only got one in there. It's because these chests aren't being built, and they're not being built because I'm not bringing over the steel, and it's not happening because I've only got 100 steel being requested into that chest, when really we could do with a little bit more than just 100. So what I'm thinking is, if I take a little bit of a mosey on up there, we can quickly alter that to say 1000 steel, and then any more builds that I want to quickly throw down, those chests should be built just a teensy bit faster, which is going to help us out. So I'll wander up here, and I'll go into that one right there, and I will alter that up to 1000 like that. That's going to get more of them very quickly brought in. So yeah, at the moment it's still saying 12 to be delivered, but that number should start to increase. Right, because it's a higher demand overall, it will start to boost that up a little bit, and it will just help out. It will be beneficial. There, 16 down to 13 because something's been delivered. Yeah, you get the idea. It will happen. It will happen, which means that these will happen, and yada yada yada. So I want to go from here. I don't really need to go advancing anything else out. We've got the big area there of trees that we burned down, but I don't need to go and use that area. I need to go over to here. I'm kind of thinking I'd like to do this bit. I'm going to extend that out over here and then bring that down so I've got more power from there rather than just doing like a robot highway. If I was to run that down, actually it's probably better if I bring it down this way. I've got a coal patch there that I also would like to use. So I think we will start doing a little bit of work with these. It's actually, I'm going to want to get rid of all the trees in this patch, aren't I? So I'll go over to here, and I will start it from there, and I'll bring it over to that side, and we'll run down here. Where is this patch of iron? Patch of iron is over here, so I'm going to want to go right over to the coast. And as I'm over here on the coast, I will just select all of that lot, and then I can come over here, right over to this side. I go to there, and I'll run all the way out over here to the coastline, and then I'll run all the way down here like this, to the very outer limits of everything that I've got. That is 500,000 trees all the way down to there. That might be a little excessive. And also, that's not going to take everything, is it? Right, well, we won't go for 500,000 trees. Instead, what I will do is I will go out to the coast, and I'll bring it down to here, and there's where the iron is. I'll bring it down to level of the iron. There's still 300,000 trees down to that point. All of that is 300,000 trees. So I'm not going to take it all the way down here and get the rest of them. But I've still just requested 300,000 trees be removed. That might take a little bit of doing. That might just take a little bit of work for all of the robots to undertake. So here we go. There's the first of the robots heading over to this little section over here. And the rest of them are now going to be spewing forth into the air. It's going to take them a while. Austin Camps there is busy filling us in on the details. We've got 21,000. That number is just going to keep ticking down at about that rate until I've got all 25,000 construction bots in the air. And then they've still got it. So they've got to work through 300,000 trees. That is going to take a minute. So we'll let them do that. While they're doing that, I'm going to start walking out towards that patch so that I can start like populating the iron patch with a pattern, possibly helping it out. I'm thinking I'm not going to do anything with belts over there. I'm thinking I'm just going to kind of leave things running as they are. Back here at the base, nothing really needs to change now. We just want this to keep going. We're producing quite quickly, and slowly as some of the things shut down, the different sciences, some of it is still running, some of it is not. We've got various different ones that are going to keep going, and some of them are going to be shutting down and ceasing production altogether. And then as they do that, it means that more and more things will be focusing on producing the content that we want, producing the items that we want and moving them where we want, which is all going to be focusing on getting these two squares right here producing as many robots as possible. The only other thing I'm thinking is perhaps do a duplicate of that and drop it down another square. So if I look in here, I could put one in there and I could put one in there, or just one here, one here, one here, or something like that. That's really then going to focus only on robots and not do anything else, right? 123,000 robots we've got now. That makes 106, 108, is 280,000 robots. Kind of like this idea. Copy that one. No, I need to actually copy that right into that power line there. Bring that out over here. There, that's where the copy has got to be. So this is what I'm going to do. Going to bring this down to here, and to drop that one right. Lamp is in the way. Oh, of course, yes, we've got a few bits down the side here with all those extras that we put in. Toggle alt mode. Oh, of course. You do that, and it removes everything, and then you can put it back again so you can see everything that is going on. I thought there was a way to see the arrows pointing permanently on there to show you where everything is. Undo deconstruction of 73,000 entities. It's an undo option. I didn't know about that. I never actually moused over it. That's why I didn't know about it. So I want to go up here and... well, I guess if I just remove the lamps down this side. So deconstruction planner there. If I get rid of that item there, and I just put lamps in like that. And then what I can do to make this work is simply deconstruct 8 lamps down the side there. It will selectively remove them, and then I can paste that like that, because that's going to copy back any of the lamps that are able to go in there, but it's not going to copy everything in. And then that's put everything in. There, that's everything has been put down, apart from the red chests. Those can take a little bit longer to go and find. We don't mind about that. I've put all the lamps in. And then I can run down here, and I can do exactly the same thing again. I can go and remove the lamps from that side like that. There's 8 of them that need to be removed from there. Are my robots going to do that? Yes, they are. My robots are on their way in doing that. And then I can paste that bit in there as well. So I've gone and put out a few of these. I haven't put everything down, but I have gone and put down a lot of them. I've gone and put down some of the speed beacons in there, but not all of them. I have put down the power lines, but then that's it. And I've also put down the requester chests. So they're going to start filling up these requester chests, even though they're not going to be using them yet. And finally, paste that in. Lamp is in the way. Let's get rid of the lamp bit. Take that out of there. And then go to paste in here and drop that down like that. Right, that will drop out a few more of the medium electric poles. And put in any of these factories in here. And it's not going to do the speed beacons, because I don't have those speed beacons on me at the moment. I have got 50 speed beacons on their way to me, so I'm just going to hang around here a second and wait for them to turn up. We'll go back over here and have a look. That's already started now, and it's doing really well. We're down to just 400, and there we go with the construction bots. Boom. Gone. Right, 25,000 construction robots are in the air right now. We've actually got 24,900 in total, if you count my 100. That they're actually doing a really good job. Like they're taking a line of them along here. I see that there is a request for them to go in there in a line. So whether they'll work through a great big long line there or not, I don't really know. I've got more of them over here, but the problem is now going to be the lack of charging points. Now, fortunately, power is no longer going to be any kind of an issue for this. We're 14.4 gigawatts on there. I'm now doing a massive drain on power. That's going to be a bit more of an issue for a while. I'm still waiting here because I'm waiting for the speed beacons to turn up. And here we go with robots. They're bringing in the flying robot frames. Robots making robots. What could possibly go wrong with robots making robots? How could that go wrong in any way, shape, or form? I'm sure it will be absolutely fine. That's saying satisfaction 50, which means that I've actually got construction bots bringing the rest of those over, which does surprise me a little bit. Now, the flying robot frames, I'm down to 49,000 of those. Those are going to start dropping a little bit. I'm not overly... I've got 56,000 empty barrels at the minute. That's a lot of empty barrels. 153,000 spare copper ore and almost 1 million copper plate. Those are absolutely fine. We're here. The science, we don't need to worry about them. Inserters, they've come up. We've got the spare iron sticks. We've got spares on just about everything. The stack inserters, those may take a little while to build. I've got 2 factories here that are already producing robots. And then over this side, I've got none being produced at the moment. They will be produced eventually. Okay, I need to go for a wander. With all these robots that we've got coming out, picking everything up, and it's nighttime as well. How are we doing? 4.2 gig, that's dropping now, so we're up to 17.3 on there. We're still not using accumulator charge at all, so it looks like our nuclear power plant is actually able to provide all current power needs. And here we are with the actual construction site, right here, or deconstruction site, I should say. So we've got robots busy working here and working absolutely flat out. I'm just going to run down there a second. And I've only got one of my robots out. I don't know where he is. Moving consumption. It doesn't actually say where he is at the moment, but he must have gone off somewhere else, and so he's now slowly floating his way towards me. That would be my guess. There is a lone robot out there somewhere waiting to get back towards me. But my own robots, like this area right here, has already got assigned robots to every single tree. Probably not the case further down, because we do have deconstruction set for all the way down here. Like the whole way down through. So there's a lot of deconstruction still to do, which means that I could still go and do something. Yeah, I see 49. I've definitely gone and lost my robot somewhere. Where I've gone and left him, I don't know, which means that he's probably got to go halfway across the map with 0 charge. So I may never end up getting that robot back unless I run all the way back over towards him and sort of do it like that. But one thing I wanted to have a look at was show logistics bots on map like this. That's F4, by the way, in case anybody's forgotten. And right on here. So they're coming down this way. Why are they coming down from that direction? I'm not sure why they're coming down from that direction. Unless that was the last of them, like, up here, and they've traveled all the way down this way. And then coming down to pick up these few here. So they've got trees identified that they're already running towards. Just picking some of these up down here. There, that one's going for there. And they're systematically working their way south with that lot. And then over here, we've got a long line of them running through this. That they are coming up here eventually, but a lot of them are still using this region in here, which is actually not all that useful. Right? It would be better if they weren't using just that region there. It would be better if they were spreading further afield. Now, I was thinking that we do want to put in some more of those robots in order to get robots in the air, but I've just been thinking it might be better to just leave it with this pattern with these, because the whole idea of having this is so robots can recharge faster and move along more efficiently. So if they're not able to grab stuff and move along more efficiently, what's going to happen? We're going to end up with more robots being in the air at any one time. And that is effectively what we are aiming to do. Right? That is what we're looking to try and achieve. We've got 18.6 gigawatts being produced as maximum by our steam turbine array. We are also throwing in an additional 2.1 gigawatts of power into from the accumulators. So we're using the accumulators a little bit. 58,000 roboports are currently consuming almost 12 gigawatts of power. That is an absolutely insane amount of power that those robots are consuming. I have got a robot somewhere. There is a construction robot out there somewhere that is traveling along at a micro speed. It could be anywhere. I very much doubt that I am going to see him again before the end of this series. I would be gobsmacked if I do see him again, to be honest, because I have traveled so very far. And here go my robots out on their first little missions for picking things up, which means that we're going to get a few logistic bots coming out over this way. Now, we got 45,000 logistic bots in the air at the moment. And with those robots suddenly going up like that, I don't know. And some of them are going to be heading towards me. But that did... Well, I don't suppose I'm affecting the numbers all that much. We've got 45,000 spare, so we're running around 100,000 in the air. Which seems about right for us at the moment. We're down to 22 frames. Although when I mouse over the Roboport... Mousing over the Roboport does actually physically slow that number down. As soon as I remove my mouse from there, the number pops back up. There's a difference of almost 3 frames a second on there. I do wonder if the signal display is actually causing us some issues. Like, we've got our constant display of robots that we've got flying on here. I do wonder if that one might be causing us a frame rate issue. If I was to disable that one, would that solve the frame rate issues that we have had a little bit? Now, wood in here is as much as I've got on that. And if I look on here, I got no more trash slots. I'm not able to unlock any more trash slots or anything like that. I don't want to do anything more. Well, folks, Rome wasn't built in a day, and 1 million minions are not going to be built in a single episode. We've run out of time, so if you've enjoyed the episode, then please head down below and give us a like, and if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me, get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.